Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6. It's the 12th largest overall employer in Lexington and the 8th largest private company in the city. Tonight, word train is being shut down and hundreds of people are losing their jobs.
Jacqueline Nye has more about the layoffs in the big story at 6.
Several hundred employees of the train manufacturing facility here in Lexington walked through the doors today just to find out the facility will be closing by the end of 2019. Train announced today that their Lexington facility will be shutting down and the company will be sending its operations to South Carolina. The Lexington mayor's office says that approximately 600 employees will lose their jobs. One man who had just been hired as a temporary employee said he had hopes for a future with the company. He tells me he and his coworkers were called to the basement for a meeting, and that's when they were told the devastating news.
I know everyone that was coming out there was really disappointed. You have some employees that's been there for a long time. They got a lot of benefits saved up, a lot of time invested.
Train manufacturing here in Lexington has been open for 55 years and is the 12th largest employer in Fayette County. Covering the news in Lexington from the LEX 18 mobile newsroom. Back to you.
Lexington Mayor Jim Gray released this statement today, quote, "A plant closing is never good news, but thankfully Lexington's robust economy and low unemployment will help Train's employees as they seek new jobs. I've already asked our team to work with the Train employees so they can bring value to the many strong companies in Lexington." End quote.
The estate of the homeless man killed after a police chase ended in a crash has filed a federal lawsuit against Kentucky State Police.
In August of 2017, 57-year-old Anthony Moore was sleeping in some bushes off Newtown Pike in Lexington when he was hit by a truck as it crashed. The truck's driver, Nathaniel Harper, was being followed by troopers in a chase that began in Shelby County. Moore's estate has filed suit to recover damages and to, quote, deter the irresponsible law enforcement conduct, end quote, that led to the death. The lawsuit claims troopers violated KSP pursuit policy. The state police commissioner, deputy commissioner, and the commander of Post 12 in Frankfort are all named as defendants. As for Nathaniel Harper, he's being held in the Fayette County Jail on murder charges. Police in Nicholasville credit a vigilant bus driver for likely saving a toddler's life.
Now, the driver found a crying 1.5-year-old boy alone in the middle of a busy road. It happened on Richmond Avenue, just a few houses from an even busier street, North Main. Carolina Buchek has the story.
Police know this situation could have ended badly.
We're just lucky you had a bus driver who's used to watching for kids, who's used to looking at traffic, not on his cell phone. The bus driver saw this kid, not somebody not paying attention. I mean, it's a lucky incident.
While driving a school bus, a 66-year-old bus driver saw a crying toddler run down the sidewalk in a dirty diaper and t-shirt. He says his heart skipped a beat when he saw a truck barreling down the road, nearly hitting the child. He says that scared the toddler, and the next thing he saw was the boy running towards the road. So the driver took action.
The bus driver stopped traffic, got out, took custody of the toddler, called us.
Police say the road was so busy, even officers had trouble getting around.
Even though we had our lights going and the road's busy, one of our officers almost got hit when he walked across the road.
When police figured out where the boy lived, they had trouble reaching the adults inside.
It took the officers a few minutes to get anybody to come to the door, even with, hitting sirens and knocking on the door hard. Nobody was coming to the door. And then once they did, they had no clue the toddler had got out.
Police say they questioned those in the house and determined that they were drunk. They then arrested the little boy's 22-year-old mother, Courtney Draper, for wanton endangerment. Covering the news in Jessamine County, Carolina Buchek, LEX 18 News.
6 UK College of Law professors have joined the 1,200 plus other law school professors who signed a letter urging the Senate to not confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the FBI's supplemental background report on Kavanaugh is out and under review. Camila Bernal is in Washington to explain how the White House, Republicans, and Democrats are responding.
Senators who requested the supplemental FBI background check got what they requested, and I am ready to vote.
All 100 U.S. senators are being given the opportunity to review the FBI's supplemental background investigation report on Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. But it may come down to what some key senators think of the report.
It's with the Senate now, but we feel very confident.
The White House has reviewed the report and is firmly behind Kavanaugh, as is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
No, the facts do not support the allegations levied at Judge Kavanaugh's character. Instead, many of the facts actually support Judge Kavanaugh's strong, unequivocal denial.
But top Democrats say the investigation into Kavanaugh's past, including sexual assault allegations, is incomplete.
The most notable part of this report is what's not in it.
We are reiterating our call that the documents with proper redaction be made public.
But the FBI's report is not public and will likely never be. And some of those key undecided Republicans have already reviewed the report and said it appears thorough, suggesting that the Senate may move forward with the vote on Kavanaugh by this weekend.
I'll be proud to vote to advance this nomination tomorrow.
In Washington, I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
Private information about Kentucky's Republican U.S. Senators Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul has been leaked online.
According to a report from Washington, D.C.-based newspaper Roll Call, Senate Majority Leader McConnell's home addresses in Kentucky and Washington were added to his public Wikipedia page earlier this week. Last night, Senator Paul's wife wrote a letter to CNN saying his cell number and their home address had been posted online, too. United States Capitol Police say they've charged 27-year-old Jackson Costco with posting private information about one or more senators to the internet. Costco was a Democratic congressional intern.
Another hot day, another humid day out there, and a day where we're seeing summertime thunder showers popping up. We'll see the same thing trying to happen again tomorrow, but if you're planning some evening stuff, Thursday Night Live tonight down in Lexington, downtown. We have seen a couple of showers around, but it's spotty. You've got one southern Fayette County, northern Fayette County, also southern part of Woodford County. One now moving into Madison County there by Richmond. More extensive rain from Paris then to Mount Sterling and Owingsville, Moorhead, so basically 460 and north. We're seeing the best coverage of rain. Movement of this a little south of due east, so you kind of get an idea who will see these tracking by over the next hour or two. Future Track will help you with that as well. From 6 o'clock, you'll see the coverage of showers as they work their way southeast. By 11 o'clock and beyond, the number of showers begins to diminish, setting the stage for tomorrow where we'll see an isolated shower or thunderstorm as a possibility. So here's 7 a.m. Clouds are around as we continue through the middle of the day. Well, a couple of showers begin to pop up, and again, they'll be spotty, hit and miss. So if you're headed to Keeneland tomorrow, plan for the warmth, but also plan for maybe dodging a shower or two. We'll talk about that coming up in a minute.
All right, Bill, see you then.
Well, typically this time of year, most people are looking for the trees to begin showing some color.
But this fall, that process has felt more like a crawl, due in part to some unfavorable weather conditions. And as Mike Valenti explains, it's had an impact on tourism.
If you're stopping in Powell County for a day trip, there's a good chance you're probably going to see the Red River Gorge. And tourism officials tell me the one question they get over and over again on the phone is, when will the leaves change colors? Well, the fact that they're not doing so as quickly as they would like may have something to do with tourism being down 50% in the county.
This time of year, it's bright colors.
Mary Cann was hoping to find vibrant colors when she stopped off at the gorge today. Instead,
green, green, green.
Serena Bowen is the county's director of tourism.
Normally, we probably would have been seeing color by now, and we haven't for the last few years just due to all this rain pattern that we've been in.
According to the National Weather Service, when warm, cloudy, and rainy weather dominate the fall season, leaves tend to have less coloration. But what would really make those colors pop is something we haven't been getting: cool nights.
Right now, what we're looking for is warm days and cold nights. That will really bring out some of the fall colors.
Covering the news in Powell County, Mike Valenti, LEX 18 News.
The number of hepatitis A cases reporting in Lexington has more than doubled in just the last month, bringing the total to 24.
And as Michael Burke learned, anyone who hasn't been vaccinated can be considered at risk.
If the last month has shown us anything, it's that Lexington and Fayette County are not immune to a hepatitis A outbreak.
We had 13 alone in September.
And not a single one of those was traced back to a restaurant here in town.
There's no reason to not eat out in Lexington.
But Kevin Hall from the health department advises against doing something else.
We're seeing new cases with marijuana use. And it's probably more likely in the community that there are more marijuana smokers than there are injecting drug users.
So Hall says think twice before passing that around, and keep your hands clean as often as you can, no matter where you work or play.
As a human being, you're going to mess up and make mistakes, but definitely make sure that you are keeping up on the hygiene, that is for sure.
That's what Muslima Habib Allah does, and it's a good thing, because she's not protected.
I don't do the flu shots. I don't do the hepatitis A shots. I just don't do those. I don't eat in restaurants. I eat at home. I keep things very, very clean.
That's a start, so is being aware of the symptoms, such as stomach pain, nausea, or jaundice of the skin or eyes. Too many people may have ignored those signs.
With 14 deaths and 56% of the cases resulting in hospitalization, it's important for people to be aware that it's happening.
It happened to an unlucky 13 in just the last month. Covering the news in Lexington, Michael Burke, LEX 18 News.
So far, the state is reporting a total of 1,850 Hep A cases since the outbreak began last November. And one more time, just announced today, this time in Perry County, a student at West Perry Elementary was diagnosed.
The reward for information about last week's shooting of a thoroughbred foal in Jessamine County is going up again, this time to $16,000. Deputies say on September 27th, someone fired several rounds into a horse paddock, hitting the foal at Springhouse Farm on Tates Creek Road, and that foal had to be put down.
The hits keep coming for one Central Kentucky animal shelter. First, it was the summer storm damage. Now their industrial dryer has stopped working.
How you can help get them back on track is next on LEX 18 News at 6.